In the remote wilderness of Siberia, where winters blanket the landscape in an endless expanse of white, a remarkable story unfolded that would redefine the understanding of gratitude, loyalty, and the profound connections between humans and wild creatures. This tale centers around Anna Petrova, a 76-year-old woman whose simple act of kindness would set in motion a series of extraordinary events that would astonish even the most seasoned hunters and wildlife experts. Anna's small wooden cabin stood isolated among towering pines, a significant distance from the nearest village of Kern. Her closest neighbor lived an arduous hour's walk away. During winter, when snow blanketed the narrow dirt roads, Anna could go weeks without encountering another human soul. Most individuals would find such solitude unbearable, but Anna had embraced the peace of the wilderness since her husband's passing 15 years prior. On a frigid winter morning in 2019, with temperatures plummeting to minus 40 degrees, Anna heard unusual sounds emanating from her storage shed. These sounds were desperate whimpers that pierced the frozen air, stirring a sense of urgency within her. Having lived in these woods long enough to recognize every sound, she understood that these cries belonged to something young and frightened. Wrapping herself in her warmest coat, Anna ventured into the biting cold, her heart aching at the growing intensity of the sounds. Upon opening the heavy wooden door, she was met with a heart-wrenching sight. Three bear cubs huddled in the corner, their small bodies trembling from cold and hunger. Later, she would learn that their mother had fallen victim to poachers, leaving the cubs to face certain death in the unforgiving Siberian winter. Despite the inherent dangers of approaching wild bears, Anna felt an undeniable connection to the frightened cubs. Their eyes, filled with fear, spoke to her very soul, compelling her to act against all conventional wisdom. While many would have called the authorities or closed the door, Anna chose a different path. She began to care for the cubs, naming them Boris, Natasha, and Misha. Though she never treated them as pets, she understood the responsibility she had undertaken. Wildlife experts warned her that her actions were fraught with danger, as bears could become too dependent on humans or turn aggressive as they matured. However, Anna followed her heart, believing that in a world often devoid of kindness, her compassion was necessary. For 3 months, Anna fed, protected, and nurtured the bear cubs, all the while maintaining a careful distance to ensure they retained their wild nature. As spring approached, the cubs grew strong and confident, their glossy fur a testament to her care. When they finally left her side to embrace the wild, Anna watched with a bittersweet mix of sadness and satisfaction. Little did she know that her kindness would not be forgotten. The next 5 years would unfold in ways that would challenge perceptions of animal intelligence and loyalty. The bear cubs, now powerful adults, would return to Anna's aid during critical moments, repaying her compassion in astonishing ways that would leave the entire region astounded. Their story would not only transform Anna's life, but would also serve as a reminder of the extraordinary bonds that can exist between humans and wildlife. As the seasons changed, so did Anna's life in the wilderness. The bond she shared with the bear cubs, once mere orphans in her care, began to take on a deeper significance. After their departure into the wild, life continued its natural rhythm. Anna often reminisced about the cubs, recalling their playful antics and the warmth they brought into her solitary existence. Although she had made peace with the idea of never seeing them again, the profound connection they had formed lingered in her heart. 2 years passed since the cubs had ventured into the forest, and winter arrived once more, bringing with it one of the harshest cold snaps in recent memory. The thermometer outside Anna's cabin plummeted to minus 50 degrees, a bone-chilling cold that penetrated even the sturdiest of walls. With her firewood supply dwindling and the scheduled delivery from the village delayed due to impassable roads, Anna faced a dire situation. Without enough firewood, she knew she would succumb to the frigid temperatures within days. Determined to survive, Anna bundled herself in every layer she owned and set out into the merciless cold, pulling a small sled behind her. The forest was eerily silent, save for the occasional crack of frozen branches and her labored breathing. Each step was a battle against the snow that reached her knees, and the effort to gather fallen branches left her exhausted. Yet as she turned to head home, a growing sense of dread washed over her. The gentle fall of snow had obscured her tracks, and each tree looked identical under its white blanket. Panic began to set in as the daylight waned. Anna struggled to remember her husband's old advice about following the direction of the wind. But as the temperature dropped further, she realized the gravity of her situation. After an hour of wandering, her strength started to fade. Her fingers were numb and her vision blurred. Just when despair threatened to engulf her, a deep rumbling sound broke through the stillness. At first, she thought it was the wind playing tricks on her senses. But then the sound grew closer. Emerging through the swirling snow was a massive dark shape that sent a shiver down her spine. As her vision adjusted, she recognized him. Boris, now a fully grown male bear, his imposing form a testament to the strength he had gained in the wild. But what happened next defied all expectations. Instead of approaching her with aggression, Boris began to walk in circles around Anna, creating a visible trail in the snow. He was not alone. Soon, Natasha and Misha joined him, their impressive sizes reflecting the strength they had developed. The three bears surrounded Anna, and Boris gently nudged her with his nose, urging her to stand. When she struggled, they positioned themselves around her, forming a protective barrier. With Boris leading the way, Natasha and Misha flanked her sides, guiding her through the forest with a purposeful determination. This moment was one that would later be deemed impossible by wildlife experts. Three full-grown wild bears were escorting a human through a blizzard, carefully matching their pace to her weakened state. As they navigated the treacherous terrain, the bears displayed behaviors that seemed almost human. When Anna stumbled, they would pause, allowing her to regain her footing. If she veered off course, they would grunt softly, gently correcting her direction. After what felt like an eternity, but was likely only 40 minutes, the familiar outline of her cabin emerged from the gloom. The bears had led her home, choosing a route that avoided deep snowdrifts and perilous ice patches. But their assistance did not end there. While Natasha and Misha stood guard, Boris disappeared into the forest, only to return moments later, dragging a fallen log nearly twice his length. Throughout the night, the bears made several trips, retrieving enough firewood to replenish Anna's dwindling supply. Their efforts revealed not just intelligence, but also a genuine concern for her welfare. Only when her wood supply was fully restocked did they melt back into the darkness of the forest, leaving Anna in awe of their loyalty and care. The next morning, Anna's nearest neighbor, Dmitri, arrived on his snowmobile to check on her after the blizzard. He found her cabin warm and well-equipped with wood, a sight that sparked disbelief when she recounted the incredible events of the previous night. Though initially skeptical, the enormous bear tracks in the snow, alongside the carefully dragged logs and the clear path the bears had created, left no doubt about the extraordinary tale Anna had to tell. News of Anna's miraculous rescue spread through the nearby villages, and wildlife researchers began to take notice. While some dismissed her account as the fanciful imaginings of an old woman, others were convinced of the mysterious bond that had formed between Anna and the bears. Anna, however, continued her quiet life in harmony with the wilderness, her heart filled with gratitude for the unexpected guardians that had emerged from the wild. As the quiet rhythm of life in the Siberian wilderness unfolded, spring arrived, bringing with it both renewal and unexpected challenges. The pristine forest surrounding Anna's cabin, once a sanctuary of peace, began to attract the unwanted attention of illegal loggers. These were not the humble woodcutters of old, seeking timber for their homes. Rather, they were organized criminals equipped with heavy machinery, stripping the landscape bare and encroaching upon the habitat of countless wildlife. The sound of chainsaws echoed ominously through the trees, threatening to disrupt the delicate balance of nature that Anna had come to cherish. One warm morning in May, Anna awoke to this unwelcome disturbance, her heart pounding as she gazed out her window. Three large trucks parked at the edge of her property indicated that the loggers were surveying the area, marking trees with spray paint. The sight filled her with dread, as she knew the implications of their presence. Remote cabins like hers often vanished during such operations, their elderly inhabitants dismissed as unfortunate casualties of the wilderness. With no phone to call for help and the nearest police station miles away, Anna felt a rising sense of vulnerability. As the loggers approached her cabin, one of them knocked roughly on her door, demanding that she come out to discuss their new logging operation. Anxiety coursed through her veins as she prepared to confront the intruders. Just as she gathered her courage, a deep, powerful roar echoed through the clearing, shaking the ground beneath her feet. From three different directions, Boris, Natasha, and Misha emerged from the forest, their imposing figures silhouetted against the backdrop of the trees. The bears had grown even larger since their winter rescue, their muscles rippling beneath their thick black fur as they moved with deliberate purpose. The loggers froze in disbelief, confronted not with one bear, but three fully grown black bears, moving in a coordinated formation. Boris took the lead, his massive frame casting a shadow over the men on Anna's porch, while Natasha circled to the right and Misha blocked their path back to the trucks. What transpired next was a demonstration of strategic thinking that baffled wildlife experts. Rather than attacking outright, the bears orchestrated an elaborate display of power and restraint. Boris stood on his hind legs, towering over the men, and brought his massive paws down on Anna's metal water barrel, crushing it flat with a thunderous sound. Natasha and Misha began systematically destroying the loggers' equipment, flipping fuel containers and tearing through the tires of their trucks with powerful swipes of their claws. The message was clear. The bears were showing the intruders the extent of their strength while deliberately choosing not to attack. This remarkable display of controlled power left the loggers in a state of shock, and they quickly retreated to their damaged vehicles, fleeing the scene in panic. But the bears' protective instincts did not end there. They established a patrol pattern around Anna's property, a presence that would deter any further threats. Local hunters reported seeing the bears marking an unusually large territory centered on Anna's cabin, leaving visible claw marks on trees at regular intervals. Their behavior caught the attention of wildlife researchers from a nearby university who sought Anna's permission to set up trail cameras. The footage captured would later feature in international nature documentaries, showcasing the bears working in coordinated shifts, with at least one staying vigilant over Anna's cabin while the others foraged or rested. Most remarkably, the bears demonstrated an uncanny ability to differentiate between genuine threats and ordinary human activity. When the local doctor made his monthly visits to check on Anna's health, the bears would appear, observing from a distance before withdrawing once they were satisfied with the visitor's intentions. Their understanding of human behavior challenged conventional notions of animal intelligence, revealing a depth of awareness that transcended mere instinct. As time passed, the loggers never returned to Anna's part of the forest. The bears had established her land as a sanctuary, preserving not only her safety, but also the surrounding wilderness. Their actions had far-reaching consequences, drawing attention to the illegal logging operations in the region, and eventually leading to increased enforcement of forest protection laws. Anna became an unwitting guardian of the forest, her life intertwined with that of the bears, whose loyalty and bravery inspired others to advocate for wildlife conservation. Yet the most remarkable chapter of Anna's story with the bears was yet to unfold. As summer approached, the region faced an unprecedented threat from catastrophic forest fires that swept through Siberia, ignited by an unusually hot and dry season. What began as small fires rapidly escalated into an unstoppable inferno, devouring everything in its path. Ash rained down like gray snow around Anna's cabin, and the horizon glowed ominously with a fiery hue. Local authorities issued evacuation orders, but Anna remained unaware of the full extent of the danger looming over her isolated home. As night fell, the roar of the approaching fire intensified, drowning out all other sounds. The heat became unbearable, and smoke filled the air, making it difficult for Anna to breathe. Just as panic began to overwhelm her, familiar shapes emerged from the smoky darkness. Boris, Natasha, and Misha returned, their demeanor markedly different from any previous encounter. They showed visible agitation, moving restlessly and vocalizing urgently as they approached her cabin. Boris pawed at Anna's door with unprecedented urgency, his instincts guiding him to lead her to safety. When Anna stepped outside, coughing from the smoke, Natasha gently but firmly pressed against her legs, steering her away from the cabin. The bears had come to guide her, their understanding of the imminent danger evident in their actions. As they led her away from the flames, the route they chose seemed puzzling at first, winding through the forest in a confusing pattern. Yet the bears displayed an extraordinary understanding of fire behavior, guiding Anna around areas where the fire would soon spread. They crossed streams at their shallowest points, navigated around treacherous ravines, and avoided dense undergrowth that would become deadly traps as the fire advanced. For hours they traversed the smoke-filled forest, taking breaks when Anna grew weary and leading her to small streams where she could drink and catch her breath. As dawn approached, they finally reached a large clearing where rescue teams had established an evacuation center. Emergency workers were stunned to see three large bears calmly watching from the tree line as Anna emerged from the smoke-filled forest, weary yet unharmed. Only when Anna was safely in the care of medical personnel did her guardians retreat back into the remnants of the forest, leaving behind an extraordinary tale of loyalty and bravery. The fire ultimately destroyed Anna's cabin and much of the surrounding wilderness. When she was finally allowed to return to assess the damage, she discovered something extraordinary. While everything for kilometers around had burned, a small radius around the ruins of her cabin remained untouched. The bears had apparently worked to clear leaves and debris in the days leading up to the fire, creating a crude firebreak in a desperate attempt to protect her home before leading her to safety. This final act of protection captured the attention of wildlife behaviorists and animal cognition experts from around the world, who came to document the bear's remarkable intelligence and empathy. Through television interviews and newspaper articles, Anna would share her simple truth. She had shown kindness to three orphan cubs, and in return, they had repaid that kindness 1,000-fold. As the seasons continued to change in the Siberian wilderness, the aftermath of the devastating forest fire left Anna in a new reality. While her cabin had been reduced to ashes, the community rallied around her, touched by her remarkable story and the extraordinary bond she had formed with the bears. Volunteers from nearby villages came to help, and with their assistance, a new cabin began to rise from the ruins of the old one. It was built not just as a shelter, but as a testament to resilience, compassion, and the unbreakable connections that had blossomed between a human and nature. As the construction progressed, Anna found solace in the presence of the bears. Boris, Natasha, and Misha returned frequently, checking on their elderly friend with unwavering loyalty. Their visits filled her with warmth and joy, reminding her that the bonds she had nurtured through her kindness were far from severed. The bears would often playfully rummage through the remnants of her garden, their antics bringing laughter to Anna's heart and reminding her of the precious moments they had shared. Despite the devastation around her, Anna's spirit remained unbroken. She understood that life in the wilderness was an ever-evolving cycle of renewal and loss. The surrounding landscape began to heal, new growth sprouting from the ashes, and Anna found herself inspired by the resilience of the forest. She often walked through the charred remains, witnessing firsthand the emergence of life as green shoots pushed through the blackened earth, a testament to nature's ability to recover and flourish. As her new cabin took shape, Anna became a beloved figure in her community. Her story of survival and the bears' extraordinary actions captured the hearts of many, inspiring conversations about wildlife protection and the importance of preserving the natural world. People traveled from far and wide to hear her tale, and Anna found herself advocating for wildlife conservation, sharing her experiences and the lessons she had learned from her encounters with the bears. The bears, too, became a symbol of hope and loyalty, serving as a reminder of the intricate connections that exist between humans and the wild. Researchers continued to document their behaviors, marveling at their apparent understanding of human emotions and their ability to communicate with Anna in ways that transcended language. The bears were not just animals. They were guardians, protectors, and friends who embodied the spirit of kindness that Anna had once extended to them. One day, as Anna sat on the porch of her new cabin, a sense of peace enveloped her. The sun cast a warm glow over the landscape, and the sounds of nature filled the air. Birds chirping, leaves rustling in the gentle breeze, and the distant call of wolves echoing through the trees. Suddenly, she spotted a familiar shape emerging from the underbrush. Boris, now a massive adult bear, approached with a confidence that spoke volumes. Behind him, Natasha and Misha followed, their powerful forms a testament to the strength they had gained in the wild. Anna's heart swelled with affection as she watched them. She called out their names, her voice filled with joy. The bears responded with a series of playful grunts, their demeanor exuding a sense of camaraderie. It was as if they understood the bond that had been forged through their shared experiences, a connection that transcended the boundaries of species. In the months that followed, the bears continued to visit Anna regularly, each encounter deepening their friendship. They would often bring her small gifts from the forest, colorful berries, nuts, and even the occasional piece of discarded food they had scavenged. These gestures, though simple, spoke volumes about their appreciation for the kindness Anna had shown them during their vulnerable days as cubs. One particularly memorable autumn afternoon, Anna decided to host a gathering for her neighbors, inviting them to share in the beauty of the changing leaves and the crispness of the air. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden hue over the landscape, laughter and warmth filled the atmosphere. Anna shared her story with her guests, recounting the incredible bond she had formed with the bears and the miraculous ways they had repaid her kindness. To her surprise, Boris, Natasha, and Misha made a special appearance, emerging from the trees to join the gathering. The sight of the three bears drew gasps of astonishment from her neighbors, who had heard of the bears but had never seen them up close. Anna's heart swelled with pride as she introduced them, her voice filled with affection. It was a moment of unity, a celebration of the extraordinary connections that had blossomed between humans and wildlife. As the evening wore on, Anna and her friends shared stories, laughter, and food under the starlit sky. The bears, content and at ease, roamed among the guests, their presence a gentle reminder of the harmony that could exist between humans and nature. The atmosphere was charged with a sense of gratitude, a recognition of the bonds that transcended the ordinary. In the years that followed, Anna became a local legend, her story inspiring others to embrace the power of kindness and the importance of wildlife conservation. Schools organized field trips to her cabin, and children learned about the incredible stories of the bears and the lessons of empathy and respect for nature that Anna embodied. As winter approached once again, Anna reflected on the journey that had brought her to this point. The challenges she had faced, the love she had shared, and the loyalty of the bears all converged into a tapestry of life that felt richer and more meaningful than she had ever imagined. The bond she had formed with Boris, Natasha, and Misha was a testament to the extraordinary ways kindness could manifest and return, echoing through the hearts of all who had witnessed their story. As the winter winds began to howl once more across the Siberian landscape, Anna found herself reflecting on the profound journey she had undertaken with Boris, Natasha, and Misha. The bond they had forged was not merely a tale of survival. It was a living testament to the power of compassion, the unbreakable ties that connect all beings, and the extraordinary ways in which kindness can ripple through the fabric of life. The bears had become integral to Anna's existence, not just as protectors, but as companions who shared in her joys and sorrows. Each season brought new challenges, yet the bears remained steadfast in their loyalty. They would often appear at her cabin, their hulking forms a comforting sight against the stark backdrop of snow-laden trees. Anna had come to anticipate their visits, finding solace in the connection they shared, an understanding that transcended spoken language. During one particularly harsh winter, when the temperatures dipped dangerously low and the snow piled high, Anna faced the harsh reality of isolation. While her new cabin was sturdier than the last, the relentless cold still posed a threat to her well-being. As she settled in for the evening, the howling winds outside seemed to echo her feelings of solitude. Just as she wrapped herself in a warm blanket, she heard a familiar sound, a deep, resonant rumble that sent a shiver of recognition down her spine. In moments, Boris appeared at the door, his massive form silhouetted against the swirling snow. Behind him, Natasha and Misha followed, their presence a comforting balm against the biting cold. Anna's heart swelled with gratitude as she opened the door, welcoming her beloved friends inside. The bears, unfazed by the heat of the cabin, settled around her, their warmth radiating through the room. They were not just creatures of the wild, they were family. As the days passed, the bears continued to visit, each arrival accompanied by a sense of joy and relief. They would cozy up near the fireplace, their deep breaths resonating like a soothing lullaby. Anna would often share her stories with them, recounting the adventures they had shared and the lessons learned along the way. It was during these moments that she felt most connected to the world around her, a world that was not defined by loneliness, but by the bonds of love and loyalty. One snowy evening, as the fireplace crackled and the room glowed with warmth, Anna decided to prepare a special meal for her furry companions. She had read about the nutritional needs of bears and crafted a feast using ingredients she had gathered from her garden and the local market. As she laid out an assortment of fruits, nuts, and fish, she couldn't help but feel a sense of joy in offering her friends a taste of the bounty of the land. The bears approached with curiosity, sniffing at the offerings before settling down to enjoy the feast. Anna watched in delight as they savored each bite, their expressions of contentment reflecting the deep bond they shared. In that moment, it became clear to her that their relationship transcended the human-animal divide. It was a partnership rooted in mutual respect and understanding. As winter gave way to spring, the forest around Anna's cabin burst into life. The snow melted away, revealing the vibrant colors of wildflowers and lush greenery. The bears seemed invigorated by the change, their energy infectious as they frolicked in the meadow surrounding Anna's home. The trio would often engage in playful antics, chasing each other through the tall grass, their joyful roars echoing through the trees. Anna would sit on her porch, a warm cup of tea in hand, and watch the spectacle unfold, her heart full of gratitude for the beauty of life. With the arrival of spring came the return of visitors to the wilderness. People traveled from far and wide to witness the legendary bears and learn about Anna's incredible story. Schools organized field trips, and families sought out the cabin for a glimpse of the extraordinary bond that had captured the imagination of so many. Anna welcomed them with open arms, sharing her experiences and the lessons she had learned about kindness and compassion. One day, a group of children arrived, their eyes wide with wonder as they caught sight of Boris, Natasha, and Misha. Anna invited them to gather around her while she recounted the tale of how she had found the bear cubs in her storage shed and the incredible journey that had followed. The children's faces lit up with excitement, their imaginations ignited by the story of friendship that transcended boundaries. As Anna spoke, the bears ambled closer, their curiosity piqued by the gathering of young faces. The children gasped in awe as the bears approached, their size and grace captivating their attention. Boris, ever the gentle giant, leaned down to nuzzle a young girl who had timidly reached out her hand, a moment that encapsulated the essence of their connection, a mutual understanding that spoke to the heart. In the following years, Anna continued to nurture the bond with her bear companions, observing the changes in their behavior as they navigated the complexities of life in the wild. She learned to respect their independence while cherishing the moments they shared. Each season brought new lessons, and Anna found herself evolving alongside the bears, her understanding of the natural world deepening with each passing day. One summer, she noticed a shift in the dynamics of their relationship. The bears, now fully matured adults, began to explore the surrounding areas more frequently, often venturing farther into the wilderness. Anna felt a bittersweet pang of longing as she watched them disappear into the trees, knowing that their journeys were a natural part of their lives. Yet she also understood that their connection would endure, anchored in the kindness they had shared. As the years rolled on, Anna continued to advocate for wildlife protection, using her story to inspire others to appreciate and respect the natural world. She collaborated with local organizations, sharing her insights on the importance of preserving habitats and protecting wildlife from the threats of poaching and habitat destruction. Her efforts garnered attention, and soon initiatives were launched to promote awareness and conservation practices in the region. The bears remained a symbol of hope and resilience, their presence reminding Anna and all who heard her story of the incredible bonds that can form through acts of kindness. They became ambassadors for wildlife, embodying the idea that compassion knows no boundaries and that love can transcend even the most unlikely circumstances. As winter approached once more, Anna sat on her porch, a blanket wrapped around her shoulders, watching the snowflakes dance in the air. The world around her was a tapestry of memories woven together by love, loyalty, and the extraordinary connections that had blossomed between her and the bears. She felt a profound sense of gratitude for the journey they had shared, the trials and triumphs, the laughter and tears, all culminating in a life rich with meaning. In that moment of reflection, Anna realized that her story was not just about survival. It was a celebration of life, a testament to the power of kindness, and a reminder that in the vast wilderness, the bonds between species could illuminate the path toward understanding and harmony. As the seasons turned once more in the Siberian wilderness, Anna Petrova found herself at a poignant crossroads in her life, reflecting on the extraordinary journey she had shared with Boris, Natasha, and Misha. The bears, symbols of resilience and loyalty, had transformed not only her existence, but had also woven a rich tapestry of connection between the human world and the wild. Their story was no longer just a tale of survival. It had evolved into a profound narrative of compassion that resonated deeply within the hearts of all who encountered it. With the passing years, Anna had become a beacon of hope and inspiration for her community and beyond. Her dedication to wildlife conservation and the protection of natural habitats had sparked a movement, encouraging others to recognize the importance of coexistence with nature. Schools embraced her story, incorporating lessons of empathy, kindness, and the intricate bonds that connect all living beings into their curricula. The bears became a symbol not just of loyalty, but of the extraordinary potential for interspecies friendship. Through her advocacy work, Anna connected with researchers and conservationists, sharing her insights gained from years of observing the bears in their natural habitat. Her experiences illuminated the profound intelligence and emotional depth of these wild creatures, challenging preconceived notions and urging society to reevaluate its relationship with nature. The bears exemplified the idea that every act of kindness, regardless of how small, could reverberate through time and space, creating ripples of change that extended far beyond individual encounters. One crisp autumn morning, as Anna stood on her porch, she marveled at the vibrant colors painting the landscape. The trees, adorned in shades of gold and crimson, whispered stories of seasons past, of challenges overcome, and of the bonds formed in the face of adversity. In the distance, she spotted the familiar shapes of Boris, Natasha, and Misha ambling toward her cabin. Their presence filled her heart with warmth, a reminder that even in their independence, the connections they had forged remained strong and unbreakable. As the bears approached, Anna knelt down, extending her arms wide in welcome. Boris nuzzled her affectionately, while Natasha and Misha playfully pawed at the ground, their spirits undiminished by the passage of time. It was a moment of pure joy, a reunion that encapsulated the essence of their relationship. Anna felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude for the journey they had shared, recognizing that the kindness she had shown to the cubs years ago had blossomed into a bond that transcended the ordinary. In the years that followed, Anna's life continued to intertwine with that of the bears, their visits a cherished part of her daily existence. Together they weathered the seasons, each bringing new adventures and lessons that deepened their connection. Anna often reflected on the simple act of kindness that had changed everything. Her decision to care for 3 orphaned cubs had sparked a chain of events that transformed not only her life, but the lives of countless others. As winter returned, cloaking the landscape in a serene blanket of snow, Anna felt a profound sense of peace. The world around her was alive with the echoes of laughter, the rustle of leaves, and the gentle whispers of the wind. The bonds she had formed with the bears served as a constant reminder of the beauty of nature and the power of compassion. In her heart, Anna carried the knowledge that kindness is a force that transcends all boundaries, a universal language spoken by both humans and animals alike. Her story became a testament to the idea that in a world often fraught with challenges, it is the connections we nurture that ultimately define us. As she watched the bears frolic in the snow, a smile graced her lips, and she whispered a silent promise to continue being a guardian of the wilderness, a steward of compassion, and a voice for those who could not speak for themselves. Her journey was far from over. It was merely the beginning of an ongoing adventure filled with love, loyalty, and the extraordinary bonds that connect us all. With a heart full of gratitude, Anna embraced the wild, knowing that her story and the bear's legacy would live on, inspiring generations to come to cherish the beauty of life and the power of kindness that knows no bounds.